Hey friends, Mike and Jess here.
And welcome to Regeneration Nation TV Gaming. No headsets today. We're doing something fun. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, this is our first tier list. I found this tier list freaking site because I've seen some tier lists online. I wonder what they used. I found this site, man, and I found it. This is the site that they use, I'm pretty sure. It's tiermaker.com. And so, yeah, we found this one. It's got all of the cinematics, okay? It doesn't have every single, like, animated short, everything like that. It's got the main line cinematics, like Hero and Rise and Shine and Shooting Star and Recall and The Last Bastion. Those ones. You'll see. Honor and Glory. Dragons. All of the best ones.
Should I keep going?
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go through. We're going to argue a bit. But we're going to make a freaking tier list, okay?
This is my first time. Like, I have been introduced to tier lists by him. We watched a couple videos together, but I'm sure you're very much more experienced than I am. Like,
I've watched some weird tier lists.
I had to ask what the S tier was. Like, what does that mean? How do I go from top to bottom? But I got to figure it out now. He told me, so yeah.
D's the best, right?
No, D is the worst.
Okay, yeah.
You don't want
just
to be
making
on the
sure
bottom.
it was a test.
No,
I've
you
watched
want to
some
be
weird
that.
ones, dude.
You want to be that S tier.
The best. We should make some tier lists like this, like the best fast food, the best candy bars.
I'm down.
The best candy things like that.
Because you know what happens when you get those? You have to test them all out. So that would be my favorite part.
No, you don't.
Yes,
you
you
just
do.
go off memory.
What? No.
That's not true.
Heck
but
no. That's
we
not
can
how
do it
I
your
would
way.
do my tier list.
Yeah, 2,000 calorie tier list, man. Jeez.
We
All
can
right.
spread it out over a day.
Yeah, I guess so. She's like, I need to refresh my memory.
I don't remember what it tastes like.
I didn't need to refresh my memory with these cutscenes, but with food.
Definitely.
All right, let's jump into this.
Whew, okay.
All right, so we're just going to go in order from left to right, top to bottom. All right? So let me know if there's any ones where if you need a little bit of refresher.
Okay.
I've got them all up here, okay? All of them. I know exactly what they are.
Well, I know the first one is Junker Queen.
Yeah,
Junker
exactly.
Queen.
Exactly. So I don't know. How do you want to do this? You want me to just? I feel like I'm nervous saying what I think.
I think we got to talk about it and then ease into it because you can't just give away your opinion first. Then you can talk about it on your perspective if you want to, and then what you rate it, and then I can talk to you about my perspective if you want to do it that way, or if you want to rate it after we both talk about it.
Well, what makes a great tier list for me is, first of all, heart. It's got to have heart, which it's hard not to have one that's not going to be, having heart in it. The Overwatch music, the score is just so good. Just random piano keys start playing in the perfect times in these, and it makes them so good, and it elevates that for me. Good action, okay, good voice acting, good writing, okay. And the Junker Queen one, dude, starts out with some heart, okay, shows you a bit of her backstory, gets you a little bit emotionally invested in her, more than I ever thought that I would, knowing like how she became the way that she was, okay. And then, dude, the action scene in this one, awesome. Top tier.
I'm really upset right now because I thought we were going to do a little bit more back and forth, but I'm literally agreeing with everything that you're saying. Because this one I was pleasantly surprised by because I wasn't really invested in the Junker Queen, especially like learning about her, but like knowing her backstory and then the way that they did this, I definitely enjoyed it. So
I think it's got to be high B tier, A tier for me. I don't think it's S tier. There's a few other ones that I think are S tier.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And this one could be an S tier for some people for sure. But for me, I would say high B tier, A tier.
If you're going to say high B tier, I would just put it in the A tier. It's like saying medium rare plus. Just do medium.
Listen, okay?
Little restaurant.
High B tier is basically saying I'm putting in an A tier, but for those people out there that say B tier, I kind of agree with you too, okay?
So it means you're on the fence, and we don't stand over lines. We pick one, okay? You need to pick one. You need to commit.
You know what?
All right?
I'm going to give you the floor here. We're on to Rise and Shine.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it that you did this one. So when you were talking about heart, I fell in love with May after this one. She's so sweet. She's so innocent, but she's so smart and she's so young. And I just love the way that they did this. she's all alone in this. You wonder how she's going to make it out of it. You know that she's a genius. Like, she starts to think about these things, and you see the way that her mind works during it. So it's so awesome to see her struggle with losing all the people around her, but then her figuring a way out of it and just making it that positive thing. And then she created the little weapon that she uses in the game. I just think that I like the way they led into that and the way they showed you how she got where she is now. And then she sees the broadcast from Winston. So that was super awesome. But yeah, I definitely fell in love with May in this one. The cinematics were amazing. They have the Aurora Borealis. Is that the lights of the night lights or whatever? But yeah, it was so beautiful. The ice was amazing. Like, I love the cinematics in all of these, but this one was so beautiful. The colors were amazing. I love seeing the ice, the snow. This one would probably be an A tier for me, for sure. I want to say that I would put every single one in S tier, but
Dude,
I don't think that I can do that. This one's very high up there. A little bit for me, there's a lot of these that hit me. Like, they hit me hard, especially with the heart stuff. This definitely hit me in the beginning, like, oh my gosh, she's struggling by herself. But I was more interested in how she was going to figure out how to get out and to, save herself, basically. So I was more interested in the storyline that way. So I think that's why I'm putting it in A tier, because I feel like S tier would be all around everything for me.
Yeah.
So...
Dude, honestly, I do want to put this one S tier. We can go A tier, but this one had so much heart. Dude.
Yeah.
So much heart. When she makes the cup of coffee for her fallen comrades.
Oh, you're right.
Just talking about that, I could tear up right now. And then her little robot friend gives himself his last bit of power.
How did I not mention her robot friend at all? You know what? You're right. Once this is flooding back to me, I think I can agree with it. Man, I thought we were going to have some more.
I'm not even done. Okay. After we watched the one right here, the text is so small. Winston's message. Okay, right now it just says free open beta. No,
that's not it.
Free open beta. Are you with us?
Are you with us? There we go. Okay.
We watched these a little bit out of order. So Are You With Us should have come before this. After watching it and then like thinking back to it, it's like watching her watch Winston's message. She's like, I am with you.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she gets her robot friend back, dude.
You're right.
There's no action in this.
But
there's so much freaking, I mean, there's a bit of action with the tower almost falling.
Yeah.
But it's so much heart.
You're right.
It is like high A tier, S tier. It's hard with this one.
No,
dude.
I think you can put it in the S tier because, yeah, the little robot guy, her relationship with him, and then him sacrificing himself. I totally forgot about that part. How did I forget about that moment? Like,
dude, for them to deliver so much in this, and it's basically just her talking. The guy at the beginning's talking. You don't even really see him.
Yeah.
It's just her. The voice actor for this carries this so much.
Yeah.
May's voice actor is incredible. The animation team behind this one is incredible.
Yeah, I couldn't get over that.
And it's so much heart, dude. This one's S tier. From all heart. Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm so glad you added on to that because I cannot believe I forgot about that.
Just call me Mr. Context, okay?
Yeah, you are the high five. Man, I didn't think that a high five was.
We're spread out, okay? We just broke immersion.
Dang it, I forgot. We'll exit that out.
So, soldier, hero.
Ugh. You're going to let me talk about this one or not going to skip back and forth? Because
we can skip back
you
and
already
forth.
know that I love Soldier 76.
This one was awesome. You start out with the little girl and like going to the store and bullying the robots, and that was before we knew about Aurora and all of the robots being sentient and all of this, and like with context now that scene hits even harder. And just Soldier being the jaded character that he is, and bashing these guys' skulls in and everything. The action was top notch in this. I love the action in this one. And then just he still has that soft side. And the little girl's like, "Are you one of those heroes?" Not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think you are.
I think you are.
Dude,
That was
easily. And then he
pretty-
checks on her at the end,
pretty
bro.
magical,
What?
yeah.
You trying to get me to cry right now?
Yeah, exactly. It was just, he's so brooding and he's so, all I can see is Batman in my head just because he's so dark and he's in himself. And I'm not saying he's anything like Batman, but it's like that. It's like that darkness, that brooding. You hear that deep voice that he has, but he's so closed off to everyone and he just wants to be alone. But then he also has this heart of compassion to saving someone, this little girl who he has no idea who she is, but he follows her and he almost is like a guy, like a father watching over her at the end. It was just, it was very sweet. I really liked this one and it was so short and I was just like so surprised that they put so much stuff in there. But
yeah, it's well, you might be getting the shorter one confused with the long one because we watched a shorter one for him and a longer one.
You're right.
So,
he did have an origin story too.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the origin story. I'm gonna say S tier, dude.
I agree.
Action, top notch.
Yeah.
Heart all around.
It did have all of it.
S freaking tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Don't freaking come at me. All right. This one, 0 Hour.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one where Overwatch 2
Yeah.
launched and they all get back together and for the first time. And,
Yeah.
Man, I want to put this one in S tier just because there was a lot of heart in it. Man, there were so many. You need to go first on this one. What am I doing? What am I doing?
No,
I'll add the context later.
I love this one only because it gave me such Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Like
what is the
Endgame?
Endgame? I'm like, what is the name of the freaking movie? But the Avengers Endgame, that's what it reminded me of, is that moment where everybody comes back. You don't see everybody that you want to see, but you see a lot of people that get you excited. They get you excited about the moment, them all fighting together. It did have a lot of heart in it. For me, I don't feel like it was everything all in one, like it was S tier for me, but I really do feel like it was that awesome moment where everybody comes together. It's very exciting. It was a good like little tie-in in the middle of it. I love that we watched all the videos that we needed in chronological order, because once we got to that point, you were so invested with everybody that you saw that everybody coming together was just as exciting as Avengers Endgame. Am I saying that right?
Avengers Endgame, yeah.
But yeah, it got me so excited. I was very excited just to see everybody together. This one didn't hit me as much as everything else. That's why I wouldn't put it in S tier, but
there were a few moments that were heartfelt. Seeing the interactions between the characters that we've never seen before, you know, and especially when everybody comes out at the end after the battle's over, there was some cool interactions and it was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
But when Winston's like, I'll be right behind you, and they're like, you better be. And then when freaking everything looks so grim and Genji comes out and just slices a freaking
really
robot's
cool.
hand,
Yeah.
that was insane. It was emotional, man. It was emotional because everything's coming down to the wire. And like you said, it's just like Avengers Endgame, where Cap's just about to, he's like, whatever, it's over. I'm gonna die right here. Thanos and his entire army. And he's like, on your left. Genji just slices the freaking arm, the hand off.
That was that. I love that excitement because that's one of those moments where you're just like, everything coming together. It's gonna be saved. It's such a good ending.
It's like it could be S tier. It's more A tier for me, and I think for some people out there, it could even be lowered to B because of the context of this, what this was supposed to represent, and we're never gonna get it now. And it's like, I think that because of that, there's no way I can put it in S tier.
Yeah.
And part of me does want to put it in B tier because of that, because it's like on subsequent watches, like when this first came out, dude, and you were so into Overwatch and you were so hyped up for the PvE, and this drops at probably BlizzCon or something like that. It's like the feelings that you got in that moment were so insane. And then now, fast forward a few years later, watching it, and you're just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
This sucks. So partly you want to put it in B, but I think it still deserves an A tier at least.
It's going in B. You just turned it into B for me. So it's just such a B for bummer. It's a bummer. You're gonna go in the bummer tier because you're awesome, but nothing will come of you, and it's a bummer. It's such a bummer.
What about? That sucks. Wow, I can't believe you did that. But what about the Overwatch what is the name of this one? I hate that these aren't big.
It's really small.
It's really, really small. It's the one where it just introduces everybody.
Theatrical teaser of,
Yeah, it's the theatrical teaser. We are Overwatch. So this was a pretty short one. It was only a minute long, but it kind of introduces everybody, shows everybody being a hero, shows what Overwatch was supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
I think it was cool. You know what I mean? It was a cool little 1 minute video.
Yeah.
But there wasn't too much to it.
But it could also tie into the B tier and be a bummer.
I think compared to all of these, when you talk about the voice acting, the heart, the cinematography, everything like that, I almost want to put it C tier because it's so short. It doesn't really stack up to 0 Hour. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make you feel the way that these other ones make you feel.
You're right. Yeah. Okay.
You know? And I don't think any of these belong in D tier.
I agree.
Saying, spoiler alert. I don't think we'll get a D tier.
I don't think we will either. I didn't think that we were going to get a C tier, but I get from our rating scale, I can see why that one is.
Yeah, it's only a C just because all of these other ones, you can't. How can you put this in B with 0 Hour?
I'm glad you started talking about it because I see Mercy in the thumbnail, but I don't really remember this one, to be honest with you. So it wasn't very memorable for me.
See, she doesn't remember it. It's D. D for don't remember.
So silly.
All right, so.
Your favorite. Our next one. Your favorite.
Infiltration?
Yeah, your favorite Sombra.
I was about to say, what are you talking about?
So you get to talk about it because it's your favorite.
This one, C for me.
Get out of here right now.
Dude, everything was good. The action was good. The cinematography was good. Everything like that. But it's one of those ones to where it's like I was almost just lost at the end of it. There was no heart. There's no like it was more emotion in it. It was playful.
Yeah.
My hatred for Sombra is going to, obviously come into play here. So if you want,
I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna rate this
exactly.
because this is not gonna be fair.
I'm gonna drop it in C just so it remains there for a little bit.
So you can feel better about it.
Oh, whoopsie.
Oh, you are ridiculous. Look at you.
You can decide from here.
So from an outsider's perspective, this one was very cool. You can see how Sombra is like a playful personality. She doesn't really take life seriously. But she also is she's very calculated. She's a hacker. She can get into anything. She's very smart. Starting them from little kids and seeing their background, it does touch a little bit for me because you can see that she had to grow up really fast. But other than that, it didn't really have a whole lot of heart in this one, so I can agree with you on that one. It was very just showing her playfulness, her calculating side, and then also it's like a whodunit kind of thing. So it was shocked you at the end, and then you're left with wanting more a little bit, but then you're also confused because you're who is this person and why does it matter? And
yeah, we had no context around Zarya coming in at the end. So and then she just shows up in the story missions, in the invasion missions, and I'm like, so you're a good guy.
Yeah.
What happened after that moment? You know what I mean? So if you're just watching these, this one left me lost.
It did leave me lost. So I would say C because it didn't really do good at explaining or going forward. It did show her playful side, but yeah, it didn't have everything all around for me.
Just a reminder, her little, her as a kid was in a different one. It was in the shorter one.
Oh, so I'm combining it anyway. So
this one just started
it can stay in the C. That's fine. It can stay in the C.
All right.
Does not affect me.
Can I talk about this?
We can just talk simultaneously because I feel like we're going to say the same exact thing at the same exact time.
Some people were mad at me for spoiling this for you. They're like, way to spoil it. I was like, listen, I was just guessing what was going to happen.
He didn't know. He had no idea. But this is what it's like watching movies with this man, okay? He will call it before it happens.
I'm not always right, though.
But he's not. But he will call it most of the time. 9 times out of 10, he's right about it.
I'm just like, I think they done it.
Yeah, and he's right. And he's like, hold on, look at this way this guy's looking. And I'm like,
they're like, you pre-watched this.
How did you do that?
You pre-watched it.
Yeah, you watched this so you can call it.
Okay, outside of that, Dragons, S. If there was a level above S, it would go there, dude.
Yeah.
Dragons is so good. The story of 2 brothers and the way that it tells that story.
Yeah.
So freaking good, dude. So freaking good. The action, both of them popping their ultimates on each other.
Yeah.
And the revelation of Hanzo realizing that this dude is he's, whoa. What? Yeah. It would have been cooler for me if he realized right in that moment that that's Genji. My brother Genji used to use that move. It would have been cool for me if it was just right there. If he's just as soon as they pop their ultimates, he's like, Genji. But even still, that only brings it down a little bit. The reveal was done very well.
It was
regardless.
very awesome. Yeah.
But I feel like it was kind of easy to see where it was going, given how it was starting and everything like that. But yeah, S tier all day. Action, heart, freaking voice acting, storytelling, everything was S tier in this.
Because you can have a good script and you can have great voice actors, but if they don't deliver the lines on time where they need to get you in that moment and get you feeling that emotion, then it's all for nothing. So that was so awesome for me, is it was literally like being sucked into a movie, and I literally thought that we were watching a movie for an hour and a half. It was like one of those, because they fit so much in there. And this was my first experience with how great the cinematics can be of Blizzard doing these Overwatch animated shorts. But like, this was my first experience with like full on everything, like blow your mind kind of thing. Because he was like, we have to get to this one. We have to get to this one. People have been requesting it.
You guys
I need
were
you to see
requesting
it.
it a lot.
And this was the first one that he started talking about that. So watching this one was such a cool experience. I love the way that they did him realizing that was his brother, just the movements that they did. The ultimates was super cool. I was like, crazy. What in the world? That was my first introduction to Genji and Hanzo. I don't think I even experienced either one of them. So, but that was so cool. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen, but like the way that they did everything, and it was like a aha moment where you realize that it's his brother. He didn't kill him. Like, that's just it's a cool thing.
It was awesome. Yeah. It deserves the S rank. And if there was above S, we would be doing it, because honestly, it's better than Hero and Rise and Shine. Like, it's high S tier, where these are like low to medium S tiers, but there's no, like, Jess is going to get upset at me. She's like, just, what are you talking
Stop
about?
Standing on the line. You're teetering, okay? You need to be here or here. You got to pick one. All right. If you want to create a Regeneration Nation tier, we can do that at the end of the thing. You're going to have to edit it in, though. So you're going to have to do that.
Just stop it. All right. You reunion.
Oh. This one was so cool. I love the way that it started. Tell me if I'm thinking this wrong. It started at the cafe. Okay. I love the way this one started. I love the atmosphere of it. It was very, very Wild Wild West. My first introduction to Cassidy, which I didn't know that he was named something else before that, so that's what they call him in this one. So I was very confused. I'm so sorry, but that's me learning it. I was learning it. Okay, guys, I'm not picking sides. But then you get introduced to Ash as well. So that was super cool. Them interacting with each other. They seemed kind of like a couple that was scorned, and like they just like a playful like back and forth kind of thing with them. This one was just cool. Cinematics for me. It wasn't hard. It was very playful. There wasn't like anything that was like, oh, like that kind of thing. It was more like just the playful, funny, and then they had some serious, I guess, not serious, but like the action, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, at the end, you were like, that is like the Western in Overwatch that I didn't even know I needed.
Yeah, so it was very cool for me. I liked the way that they did everything. Yeah, I
agree. I mean, as far as that, hitting that vibe perfectly, we didn't really know anything about him, so it's like the debut. I've seen him in game, but I didn't realize what his belt buckle said. Yeah. And it's like it zooms in on that. Yeah. So it's like the realization of the Banff belt buckle.
So he had it before any of the UFC fighters had that title.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool, actually, knowing that, you know?
Exactly. So, yeah, there was a lot that I loved about this one. You're right, no heart, but just the the awesomeness of it. It's gotta be A.
Yeah,
it's gotta be A, dude.
I agree with
because it was such a cool, just Western vibe. We got to see the Ash one before this, so we got context behind who Ash was at least.
Yeah, and Bob.
Yeah. Bab. And then the end where Echo comes out of nowhere. That kind of was like, who the heck is Echo?
Yeah. But and it's unlikely, like an unlikely pairing of Cassidy and Echo. So I didn't really see that coming. So
I guess that's where the heart came from. It's like they need someone like you.
Yeah.
They need you. Yeah. So that was cool. That was kind of a little bit of the heart that we wanted in there. So yeah, A tier for that one for sure.
Yeah. My favorite part was the tumbleweed in the middle when they were facing each other.
Seriously.
Just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. It was like perfect.
Seriously, dude. And the fact that you get to play on that map, the cafe's there, everything like that.
You get to go inside the cafe?
Yeah. It's one of the spawn points.
What? That's awesome.
It is really cool. And there's a picture of Cassidy in there.
Well,
so it's pretty cool.
I know what I'm going to do after this.
All right. So, are you with us?
Okay.
This was a short one, but it was very, very impactful.
It didn't need to be long because it was literally him. I love the way that they did the playfulness of whenever you're recording a video, you're going to fumble a couple of times.
Oh my
Sometimes
gosh,
you
yes.
don't get it on the first try. Sometimes you do. But the fun part about this was showing him fumble a couple of times where he was just like, oh, shoot, start it over. And then you just kind of like get to giggle at first. So I love the way that they pull you in with that. And then he gets into the seriousness of it, of calling everybody in and making them realize that they stand for a purpose and they need to get back together because that's something that the world needs. And yeah, that was very cool. Like this is all heart in this video. It's all heart because it's getting everybody's emotions. It's getting everybody, like everybody's coming together. It's that hero moments that, yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome.
So where would you put it? Because I have stuff to say, but I want to hear where you would put it first.
I would put it in the S tier because it's
S tier.
Yeah, because it's the heart of the game in this video. It's the reason that they're all getting together. Winston's he's the heart of it all. So I wouldn't put it in S tier for the cinematics or for it having everything all around. I feel like it's just S tier because it's so good at pulling everybody in together, and the message that he brings is just, it leaves you just like falling more in love with the game.
I have to agree. And the same reasons you said, that was going to be my reasoning.
Yeah.
It gets lifted up from the A tier to the S because of the context. A lot of these other stories wouldn't even exist. None of this would have happened, a lot of it, if it wasn't for Winston and the Are You With Us speech.
Yeah.
Okay, so it gets me emotional when I hear it. It's an amazing speech. Winston, S tier freaking hero for all time in my book because of this speech. And yeah, exactly. You can't put Rise and Shine in S tier and this not be.
Yeah, you're
when
right.
A big part of the reason why this is an S tier because of that too.
Yep, you're right.
So yeah, it gets lifted up. It gets lifted up for sure. All right. Shooting star.
I talked about the last one. You can start on this.
Dude,
one.
this is Pacific Rim 3, baby. Okay? This one was awesome.
Yeah.
The action in this one, top notch.
Yeah, definitely.
Such a cool little introduction to Diva. We had never seen her in anything before this.
Nope.
Yeah, I asked my son if like he knew, and he was like, yeah, she's a gamer. She's a gamer girl. I'm like, yeah, she is. But she's also an awesome protector of the city.
Yep.
She rides around in her mech, freaking protecting the city. Pretty awesome. Starts out not wanting help, wanting to be, do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Everything's on my shoulders. By the end, she gets her buddy to help her out. And by the end, she's like, because I've got good friends like you.
Yeah.
And it was just very heart. The heart comes in at the end. Get you emotional.
It does, yeah.
After such an action-packed, awesome freaking cinematic.
Definitely.
I mean, this one's one of the coolest ones as far
really
as action goes, for
Yeah.
sure. And just like the dragons, Genji and Hanzo, good action. No, this action goes on forever in Shooting Star, dude. It is like seriously a little mini action Pacific Rim 3 movie.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Miniature
Minus the
Pacific.
kaijus.
Yes.
But seriously, it was that good.
Still, the enemy, what do you call them? Little bug ships? I have no idea.
They were
what
like
call them.
sentinels from the
little-
Matrix.
Yeah, they have like little tails that are so cool looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look super cool. So those parts were awesome. And then her just being in trouble where she thinks that she's got them all and then she has the one and then he escapes and then she's got to go. Like this, the action back and forth, kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? And also like from a relating it to your to you personally standpoint, for being a woman and being a mom and being a working mom as well, like in my daily life, it's very hard for me to ask for help. And I realize this more at work and also here, because I feel like you stop me and you're like, why aren't you asking me for help? What are you doing? I try to do everything. And it's not, I don't know what it is in me. I don't know if it's just because I don't want to show vulnerability. I don't want people to think that I can't do it or something. There's something in me that's like, I don't want people to think that I can't do it. And I don't want them to think that I need help all the time and stuff like that. It's maybe a little bit of a prideful thing. I'm not sure. But it's not something I need to figure out myself. Maybe we should go through some counseling right now. But it was a relative thing that she was doing. Like when she was trying to take it all on herself and not ask for people for help. And maybe it's like a heroic kind of thing too. You don't want people to come at you. I don't know. Like you don't want people to think that you can't handle it. But just her little friend being there was very sweet at the end. Like she woke up and he was right there taking care of her. Just like awesome that I don't know. It was just like really cool with the heart and the cinematics and all that stuff.
It was nice. It was a nice one. I say probably A tier.
Yeah.
It didn't have the things that the other ones had in the S tier for me, but man, that action was so good. It could totally be S tier. Let's do this. It's S tier. Okay?
It's
but we can
star.
rearrange these, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not order what order they're in.
We can do orders of the S tier.
Okay, whatever makes you feel better.
It's behind the other ones for me. But man, it's still so good.
So
it's still so good.
Do you see how he's trying to sneak around saying lower S tier? He's trying to be like, oh, we're
That's what we've done now. And this one was higher A tier.
Okay, we can do that.
How about that?
All right.
And this one was higher C tier.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, so this was the Overwatch opening cinematic where Tracer, Winston taking on Reaper and Widowmaker, protecting them from the kids, inspiring the kids, taking this jaded boy, giving him some hope.
Yeah, this one was definitely S tier for me. I'm just going to jump into it without even talking about it. But this was my first experience with Overwatch as well, like the full-on cinematic storytelling kind of thing that they did. But the way that they told the story,
You can only have one of those moments.
I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Okay.
Sorry, just saying.
This is my time. All right.
My bad.
You see the sweater? It's my time.
I got the shirt.
My
Can't
time.
even see the symbol.
I got
on yours.
sleeves with symbols. Psh, psh. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, this one was being introduced to Tracer and Winston, coming in and showing that the little boy, first of all, is super adorable. He's got everything that a little boy has, that innocence. He's got that bubbliness. He doesn't care about what's going on. He's talking about the coolest superheroes ever. He's walking through this museum, seeing all the cool things that he gets to talk to his big brother about. And he doesn't understand why his brother is just so down, and he's just still talking about everything. He's got a freaking broken arm. You can tell he's got a cast. You can tell he's rambunctious. He's definitely everything a little boy is. But his brother is just sulking, and you can tell he's lost all hope. And it comes with the symbolism of realizing as you get older, those things aren't what they used to be when you were a kid, or how you saw them as a kid. You see them for what they really are. Tracer and Winston come in all of a sudden because they're fighting Widowmaker and Reaper, and it just the cool scene of them get to watch that. They're two kids that are in the middle of this museum, and they get to watch it firsthand and somehow save the day as well, which was very cool, which gives hopes to the big brother. I thought this was such an awesome cinematic. I love everything about it. Definitely S tier for me. 100%.
It was. I agree. It was definitely S tier. I would even put it above Shooting Star. It was great, man. It was very inspirational, very heartfelt. Just, I don't know, seeing Tracer come to them and like inspire to them, and like the world always needs more heroes, and just see his face go from what it was at the beginning to what it was at the end. It was awesome.
It's very cool.
And the action was great too. The action was top notch in this.
Yeah,
as
I was
well.
gonna say it had a really awesome action scene too. The older boy grabbing the doom fist,
awesome.
That was very cool. I love that. He got to use it and be a part of it, and then just kind of feel like he could be a hero as well. Yeah. But yeah, I think being a mom, that one really hit me, because it's just like younger brother, older brother, their dynamic is the same. Our sons, their dynamic is the same. The younger one just has that more of a positive outlook, and then the older brother just kind of like more realist, I guess you could say. Yeah. But it was just very cool to see that.
Not as bad as this kid. He's not jaded or anything.
No, he's not like that. But yeah, you can see that kind of dynamic, and I just thought that was really
so we
cool.
have a little bit of a bias towards it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, recall.
You're gonna have to remind me of this one, because
it's Winston. It's our first introduction to where you see him as a little ape.
Okay, so it's his. Okay.
You learn that where he got his name from.
Okay, and
that
then
he
Reaper
loves
comes
peanut
in.
butter so much, and yeah, Reaper comes in. I think, my personal opinion, I would say B or A. It has heart, and I do like it. Maybe in context, it was like our first one, so it's like I didn't really understand what was going on. Didn't understand Reaper. I thought it was really cool. I thought the cinematography was really cool with the space window opening up and they're looking at Earth, and it was really cool and everything like that. But it doesn't do it for me like some of the other ones did it for me. Even Wastelander, Junker Queen's Wastelander, I thought was better than this one. So it's either going behind that or in B tier. You decide.
I am going to put it in A tier because it's my first introduction to Overwatch. Kind of got me introduced to everything, and the way that they did it, I was hooked after this one. So I feel
agree.
like I have a little bit of a difference of opinion only because that was my first introduction to it and the way that it got me hooked. And I'm like, dude, these are amazing. The way that they tell the story, the way that you can see where he started and then where he is now, and then they bring in the action scenes. I just thought that was such a cool thing. I've never seen anything like this before for a video game. So
yeah.
I love Wastelander, but I love it in a different way because of the way that they put the personalities of each person. So it's like, I like that one the same, but it's like different almost at the same time because it was filmed differently. But yeah, I would definitely put it in A tier for me because I just like to see the way he started, his love for his, I wouldn't even call him his maker, but it was who created him to know what he knows now.
I'd say it's his maker because after seeing like Hammond Ball, he was another like their science experience basically. The same people who made like Rocket Raccoon, except way nicer.
Yeah, way nicer.
Okay.
He didn't want to kill them, so.
That's what I got the vibes from anyways. So yeah, I agree though. You're the
way
boss.
that it shows that he wears his glasses and he took his name. I just thought that was really cool. It's very heartfelt and the way that they introduce the characters. So yeah, I like it.
Honor and glory.
Well, you know I like this one. I'm trying to do my very best. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Get behind me, friends.
Yes, he's so awesome.
I love this
I
one.
love his big personality. He's just so like that quirky, but like he's big and clunky. I don't know how to describe him, but I just love his personality. I love that he's like very much like it reminds me of the big abominable snowman who takes Bugs Bunny and he's like, I'm gonna love him and hug him, and like he just has that kind of personality.
I don't remember that, but I
just
do
the
love
big
this
teddy
one a
bear
lot,
kind
man.
of.
You see his early young self being brash, just frontlining everything, and he learns from his mentor that you've got to protect the people. You got to protect the people and stop trying to get all the kills every single game, and you need to learn how to tank, okay? And freaking put your shield up and protect some people.
Yeah,
Gosh dang
protect
it.
some people. It can't be all about you.
But no, man, it comes full circle by the end. It's like they're all in the bar, and they're like, I always mess up this quote, dude, and then I eventually
Live with honor.
Yeah, die with glory. And they're saying it as they're leaving out into battle, but then his friend is actually dying at the end.
And it takes him a minute to even say that line. Like he says, "Live with honor," and then he kind of like,
glory, old friend.
says it. Yeah, when he says it, just
and
like
the fact
such a
that you
good
can
moment.
go see his freaking armor in the map still to this day, so awesome.
Yeah.
Just this is S tier easily, right behind Dragons for me, honestly. If I can get it there, boom, right behind Dragons. Those are my two freaking.
But yeah, it was
right now.
another one of those that these are the movies that I get the most heartfelt, the most enjoyable reactions, the most memorable to me. Like I can remember every scene, the lines, because they give you that. They give you that emotion. When you could remember a movie line for line, you know it was a good movie. You knew that you were paying attention to every single word that was being said because it was so amazing. And I feel like this one, right there with Dragons for sure. Just the way that they give you that heartfelt emotion. You want that human interaction. I love that.
Yeah, and the action was top notch. The freaking action was so cool. He gives this hammer to his freaking mentor. I can't remember his name right now. And he's dual wielding the freaking hammer, smashing through the robots at the end, and he's just going out with a blaze of glory. Amazing, dude.
That was actually
And then
really
Reinhardt's
awesome.
protecting all the soldiers, and it's the music is perfect. It was chef's kiss. Such a great cinematic. Seriously. All right, Bastion.
This one was so lovely to me. Lovely,
So
lovely,
good.
lovely. There was no words spoken in this one at all. It was a little bird chirping and some robot noises. And
But
was
it said so much.
amazing. It was so perfect and beautiful. The cinematics were amazing. I love the forest scenes. I love the water. I love the way that they filmed everything. It was so beautiful. I love the way that they turned the way that you feel in the moment with the darkness and the red and the fire, and then they turn it back into the beautiful shrubbery, the flowers and all that stuff, and just the imagery of that, you don't need any words, and I feel like they did this so perfectly where no words had to be said. You got all the emotion that you needed from it. This is definitely S tier, 100% A, like hands down.
100%, I agree.
No
S-tier.
Argument about that one.
It could be the number one that they've ever put out, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that one that has no words spoken. I feel like that about. But man, it's just seeing his story and the friendship with the bird, and then he gets PTSD because of the woodpecker, and freaking scares the bird away, and he's all sad, and you're just hoping that that bird comes back. And then he sees his past, basically. He remembers the war. And
his objective, it's almost like he's going towards something, and then that bird just kind of wakes him up out of his little trance or whatever, and like, reminds him where he can go.
I can be free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live my life.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was amazing. Yeah. Man. It was amazing. I could watch this cinematic 1,000 times. I don't know. Where do you think it sits between Dragons?
I was gonna say right after Dragons.
Right after Dragons. I think
Dragons is really, really good, and it had everything. And I think this one's really, really good. But right there after.
I agree. Depending on the day of the week, I would even put this above Dragons, man. But yeah, I think that this is a good place for it right here.
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
All right. So Alive. Do you remember this one?
It's not memorable to me at all.
It wasn't memorable to me.
I hate to say that for anybody that is a Widowmaker fan, but I mean, she has a.
I was gonna say for anybody who's a Mondada fan, the dude that she assassinated. Okay.
Yeah.
It's freaking Zenyatta's.
And then Tracer's in here too, right? Tracer.
He was out there trying to get secure peace between Omnics and humans.
And you know, this one, we watched this one before we watched the series, the invasion series, like stuff. So like this one, watching it back now, I would have more of a emotional response to that happening. Like that was like, you knew that was an important person that she did kill, but you didn't really see it for what I see it for now, watching what I've done after. But this one, it just kind of like, you see how much of a bad guy she is, I guess, but like it didn't really connect with me, so it wasn't really something that was.
The action was cool, cinematography good, the voice acting really good.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I would say B tier.
Yeah.
I would say B tier, maybe even C since we put Infiltrator. I think it was better than Infiltration, but that's where I'm gonna put it for me.
Yeah, I think it is better than the Infiltration one with Sombra, but because of the storyline, just like what they did is there's more emotion in it.
Yeah.
And it definitely did get you involved in what was happening. So I did know what was happening and why it meant so much, but I didn't know how much it meant until after watching the invasion stuff. So. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't have this updated to all of the newest ones. And I'm kind of upset about that because we've missed some really good ones. So we have the Kiriko. Let me make sure.
Oh, yeah,
we have Kiriko, Sojourn, and then Mwagas.
Okay, yeah.
So I think we should do those. You know, we should still rank those. They deserve to be ranked. And we just don't have some imagery up on screen to do it.
Okay, so
Kiriko first.
That is definitely an S tier for me. I am a mother of a daughter.
Dude.
And not only that, the beginning where she interacts with this little girl and she is signing to her. She loves her grandfather. They have a really good relationship. You can tell he's her main caretaker, but she's just a cute little, innocent little girl. And Kiriko she just takes to Kiriko. She is like looking up to her like a little bit of like an idol situation. Yeah. And she's so sweet with her. And you can see her personality. She's such a good caretaker. And then it kind of like shows you, both of her things. She's a caretaker, but she's also a badass at the same time. You know what I mean? She can take care of business, but also be very, very sweet and caring and loving to people. And then the action scenes, that was so cool. And I love the fact that they added, it almost was like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Maybe that's not where I'm going with that, but it was playful, but there was action pack as well. Like the main guy, the goofy main guy, the bad guy or whatever, he was so silly and like it just made it like playful, but also she was kicking their butts at the same time kind of thing.
And
like,
even when she popped her ultimate and the little girls screaming, chasing them,
Yeah.
throws the axe. It was so funny.
Yeah, that was a funny part.
It was so funny and so badass at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was so heartfelt,
It
so
did
much
add
heart
so
between
much.
Kiriko, the little girl, the
Yes.
grandfather getting shot, heals him.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking
Between
moment.
her and her own mother, just her mom looking through the peephole and realizing that, like, she doesn't have to worry. She's like, my little daughter's a superhero.
That one
It
was so sweet
cute.
for me because
So
it's like
good.
her mom's in there taking care of her. She doesn't think that she can take care of herself. She doesn't need to be on her own. She's immediately introduced with saying, you should move back in with me, basically. You don't need to be living on your own. I don't know why you're living on your own. And then she sees her little girl for what she can do, and it just changes her perception on how she feels
Amazing.
about her. And yeah, this one was so good. I'm so glad you added this one in there because that was one of my favorites, definitely.
I would say S tier, right up there with Dragon's Last Bastion, Honor and Glory. Like, it is that, it's
Yep.
that top tier.
gonna
It's
move
in the
it.
top 4 for
Move it right over
sure
there.
of the cinematics for me.
Yeah.
Easily.
The last two, I'm gonna let you take
Sojourn.
over because Sojourn
Calling.
was.
With the detective.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I loved his face. He had the
Yeah.
very distinctive face. I liked it. It wasn't really top for me. Her
Yeah.
story is awesome, and you can see that she's a hero, and she will push forward and do what she needs to do to get
She's
things
very
done.
by the book too.
Yeah, she's very.
She doesn't like. She left Overwatch because she's like, you guys lost your way.
Yeah.
This isn't what we were supposed to do. But she still stands up for what she believes in.
Yeah. So she's very heroic, but she was almost rigid to me. So the story didn't have a lot of heart in it, but not like heart like that. It did have a little bit. It was a more rigid of a storyline, and she was more of a she's very tough. She's a very tough person, so I feel like it was portrayed like that in the storyline, so it didn't really hit me like that. But I did like the Canadian outside, the cinematics on the leaves
beautiful.
and the cool. You can see it was cold outside. It was just that nice feeling, and then the coffee everywhere. I just love that, or the tea or whatever she was drinking. But
No,
just
I
the
think
hot
it's
liquid.
it's B probably for me. I think it's a B tier one just because of a few factors. I mean, the action. You only get a very brief moment of action of the flashback of her, you know, being a vigilante at night. And it was more like just tension of him, whether he's going to arrest her or not.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't do it.
Yeah, don't.
And then the reveal that, like, you know, they're being invaded. And then he's like, what do you need from me, Captain?
Yeah.
It was
then it's
cool.
changed.
It was very
cool.
cool. It was some cool things that happened.
Yeah.
Cool cinematography, good voice acting.
Yeah, another Avengers reference because it
yeah.
had that vibe to me where it was like that heroic moment. She's got to step in and take care of business, and then he does the right thing, what you want him to do in order for the story to move forward. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, B tier for that one. And then we have a good day, a great day.
I mean, he's a very cool character. He's very island vibey. I like that. I like being introduced to him, but it didn't really do what I thought. So
And
Michael
this is
was
the one
playing
with Reaper and Sombra.
Okay, so I
that
thought it was the
longer
one that was just the short one where it was just
No, I'm
like
talking
very
about the
different.
longer one.
Okay, yeah, this one was awesome. I loved it. I would say A tier for sure. It didn't give it was very much more playful, and it was more strategic on what they had to do. They had a goal in mind, and so it had a lot more action. A lot more playful moments because you got to see Malga's personality. He doesn't really take everything seriously, but he makes you think that he's not taking everything seriously, and at the end, boom, he had an idea in mind, and then he saves
Plot
the day, basically.
twist.
Yeah, it was like that was
He's
a very
the brains
cool
of the operation.
Yeah, he's smarter than what Sombra thought he was. He thought it was just messing up stuff. So
very
I thought
cool.
that was very cool the way they did that, and it was not what you were expecting because you thought, oh my god, this guy's just like this huge guy with a gun, and he's just shooting stuff, and he just likes to play around, and he don't care about anything, and he just laughs all the time. So
yeah,
but yeah,
and he calls Sombra Soms.
I didn't even notice that. I remember that. That's
so
funny. But
dude.
yeah, he didn't take anything seriously.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He calls her a nickname, a short nickname.
But I like his
Still
laid
playful.
back character, but I also love the fact that they gave him this laid back narrative, and then at the end of it all you see what he had a plan for everything. So he acts like he's this laid back character who just does whatever he wants, but he actually has a goal in mind. So I thought that was pretty cool, actually.
It was very cool. Yeah. I agree. A tier for that one just because it was cool.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was really cool. And I vibed with him. I liked him.
Our first tier list video. We did it. How'd we do?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know what you thought down below.
Yes.
What you would have changed about this tier list.
We're open to your opinion, your comments. Keep it positive, you guys. We want to open up the conversation, and we want to know what you guys have to say about it, but we want to keep it positive. We want to open our minds to different things. We're not going to be stuck in our ways.
Don't be crap talking us because
we're allowed our opinion.
We put freaking shooting star in S tier. Okay.
Does someone have doubts?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
That was so fun, and I definitely look forward to more tier lists. So if you guys have any suggestions of what tier lists you'd like us to see us do, we would love to do more.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely leave that in the comment section, and we look forward to reading it. And definitely can't wait to see what else we can do. You know, that was definitely very fun.
That was a lot of fun. I'm going to look through the other Overwatch tier lists. They have, I don't know anything about this site really. Just looked it up, searched Overwatch, and this is what came up. And I saw this one. So we'll have a look around, see if we can maybe even create our own playlist or tier list.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you thought. Thanks for joining us, and we will see y'all on the next one.
Bye, friends.
Peace.
I'm not scared of your love.